Thanks, Bill. I'm Dan Latorre. I'm the regional sales consultant. I represent TRA in Oregon, Washington, Northern California, Idaho, and Montana. I've been doing so for the past 3 years, so if I happen to be in your neck of the woods, I'm sure I've enjoyed meeting you. And John Benton is our regional sales consultant in the Southeast. So if you're in his neck of the woods, please look him up. Our roles at TRA are to support you, the 401k advisor community, in servicing your current 401k clients and building relationships with business owners and decision makers, bringing you ideas like 316 plan administration, cash balance plans, safe harbor 401ks, answering your general questions about the industry and the market and what we're seeing. So if you ever want to bounce ideas off of anyone, that's really what we're here to do. So today we're going to spend about 20 minutes to 30 minutes discussing 316 plan administration. It's really okay if it's the first time you're hearing of this. It's somewhat of a new concept, especially in the small plan market. TRA, we feel like we're one of the leaders bringing this service model to our clients and to your clients. So we'll define 316. We'll talk about how you can use it for prospecting. Most importantly, though, we feel like it's a good way to streamline your book of business. So if you're servicing 401k plans, there's definitely some advantages to having a 316 plan administrator as part of your toolkit. We're really feeling like we have to create the demand. If you're having conversations with plan sponsors and they're asking for 321 and 338 services but not 316, you know, we expect that. This is, again, something that I think we're going to see in the next few years as a trend that'll emerge, and we'll start seeing the demand, but you're going to be ahead of the curve after this presentation this morning. So it's definitely one of the prospecting ideas that our regional sales consultants are having with, or conversations that our regional sales consultants are having with advisors in the field. So please ping one of our guys and have them discuss 316 with you. So to get started, why do your clients sponsor a retirement plan? Or why do you think they sponsor a retirement plan? Is it because they're looking for tax-deductible contributions? Yeah, I mean, a lot of our clients implement safe harbor 401ks because business owners are looking for tax-deductible contributions. Is it because they want to help employees save for retirement? Certainly, that's one of the main goals of 401k plans, and you know, we hope that our clients are accomplishing those goals. Is it because they want to be a plan administrator? That's not one of the reasons that I hear for why clients want to set up a 401k plan. They are not doing it solely so they could add some more work to their table, and they're not doing it because they really want it to be a fiduciary. So when our clients are setting up their 401k plans, we ask them what the goal is. It's not so they can be a fiduciary for the retirement savings of their employees. I mean, they're setting up 401k plan for any number of reasons, but administering the plan and being our fiduciary are, while it comes with sponsoring a 401k plan, it's certainly not one of the main objectives of the 401k plan itself. And then let's look at this statement. One of the biggest risks fiduciaries face with respect to their 401k plans is the performance of their investments. Is this true or false? Well, we'll get to that maybe with some misconceptions, but I think many of you would believe that that statement is false. We'll talk a little bit more about it. So what are the fiduciary responsibilities that 401k plan sponsors have with respect to their plans? And the fiduciary responsibilities are defined here. I'd like to focus on that fourth bullet point, administer the plan in accordance with the plan documents and instruments. I mean, plan documents are complicated. Many of our clients are not attorneys, and they're faced with the proposition of picking up a legal document and applying the legal documents provisions on a day-to-day basis. And it can be challenging at times if if not confusing. So we really feel like this is one of the areas that our clients and our 401k plan prospects have struggled with the most, and we try and help them with it, but really I think we could be providing more support. And that's really what 316 does, is it offloads a lot of the challenges associated with just administering the plan on a day-to-day basis. Furthermore, what do clients expect from us as experts? One of the ways that a fiduciary can manage their fiduciary responsibilities, engage the guidance of experts. So 401k plan advisors, that's you, you're experts in 401k investments. 401k plan record keepers and custodians, they have their own specialty. And plan sponsors are certainly taking steps in the right direction by working with 401k plan advisors. I truly believe that. And many of our partners are experts in what they do, and they provide a tremendous amount of services and guidance for plan sponsors. But at the end of the day, most of the time, we're not plan fiduciaries. So record keepers, custodians, and TPAs, until recently, really haven't been acting as fiduciaries for the plan. We perform services and provide guidance that are ministerial in nature. So one of the challenges with providing that guidance, certainly with respect to plan administration, is that plan administration is a day-to-day thing, whereas reviewing investment performance can be done periodically and decisions can be made periodically. Every day, one of our clients gets a loan request or a distribution request. Every day, they're submitting contributions, calculating the match, having to determine vesting, etc. So, the support on a day-to-day basis is really important, and yet the individuals or the organizations that are best equipped to help our plan sponsors are not doing so when plan sponsors need it most, Monday through Friday. And then add to that, what are the top 10 fiduciary failures associated with operating a 401k plan? Well, as you can see here, the top 10 plan audit failures are really plan document failures, interpreting the plan document. And number one failure is that our plan sponsors don't sign the plan documents when we give that to them. I mean, we do a great job at TRA of trying to make sure that that number one thing gets done, but we've taken over thousands of plans over the last few years, and one of the challenges we face is just locating a 401k plan document. It sometimes takes days, and then we can't find one that's signed. It's really a true challenge sometimes for plan sponsors to track these type of things. Furthermore, number 2 through number 9, those are really the issues that plan sponsors face with regard to picking up the plan document, that legal instrument, and applying it on a day-to-day basis. Small errors are made, or it's just timely, there's turnover in HR, the business owner is doing what they do best. They're seeing patients, they're making widgets, etc. They're not focused on calculating the match exactly the way that it should be calculated. And we do our best on a day-to-day basis to help clients when they have questions with us. But for the most part, what TPAs have done traditionally is that we've given our clients homework. We provide guidance on how to complete that homework. At the end of the year, we prepare the Form 5500. We do the non-discrimination testing. So we're checking the homework and fixing errors as they happen, but on a day-to-day basis, all of these tasks have to be done by our plan sponsors. And as you can see, the Department of Labor is finding that most of the failures have to do with these day-to-day tasks. And then number 10 is really the alphabet soup of notices and disclosures that plan sponsors have to distribute on a day-to-day basis. So the QDIA, Safe Harbor notice, the 404A5 notice, they're just unsure when these notices need to be distributed. And even if they know when they need to be distributed, it just takes time out of out of their day and what they're trying to accomplish to make ends meet. So how has our industry responded over the last decade to help our clients with their fiduciary responsibilities? One of the most popular products and services that we see is Section 321 services. So Code Section 321 deals with discretionary authority and providing advice, but most of the time that refers to plan investments. So we have advisors on the webinar today who are signing on as a 321. You will be the first to say that, look, you're not going to help with the administration of the 401k plan, right? It's just not part of the suite of services that you're looking to provide. So if we look at Section 321 services and we go back to those top 10 plan audit failures, it's not helping with the top 10 plan audit failures. So what is the next product or way that plan sponsors can look to alleviate some of their fiduciary responsibilities? It's Code Section 338. And our industry has responded over the past 5 or 10 years with services where plan sponsors can offload their fiduciary obligations associated with the management of plan assets to a third party, many times the record keeper or a plan advisor. And again, when we look at the top 10 plan audit failures, it's not addressing any of those. And it's not to say that those tools aren't important or those tools aren't effective. It's that we spent the last decade really dialing in how to help plan sponsors with the challenge of managing investments. It's a hard thing for lay people to discern what is the best way to manage investments in a 401k plan, and advisors and record keepers, our partners, have been crucial in meeting that challenge. It's just that the administration piece is really what's left, and we've kind of been slow to meet the need that our plan sponsors face. So Code Section 316 describes the fiduciary obligations that plan sponsors have with respect to plan administration. So this is finally the piece that we're able to provide that will help alleviate some of the concerns with operating a 401k plan, and it addresses the top 10 plan audit failures that the Department of Labor has found. Furthermore, this is the piece of ERISA which deals with the day-to-day operations of the plan, the loans, the distributions, sending contributions to the record keeper. So, for those that are unfamiliar with interpreting a plan document on a day-to-day basis, if you can offload that piece to a third party who's willing to sign on as a fiduciary, then we've met the challenge of helping plan sponsors with what I feel is now really the pain point of 401k plans. And furthermore, if you're offloading those responsibilities to a third-party administrator, you're offloading those responsibilities to an expert. I mean, at TRA, we have plan consultants who do this stuff every day, obviously. I mean, we focus solely on providing third-party administration services for our clients. So when we're operating as a 316 plan administrator, we are working with our plan document that we're familiar with. We're interpreting it and applying it on a day-to-day basis. And that's really what makes working with a 316 plan administrator so powerful, is that you're engaging an expert. So why hire a 316 plan administrator, and why as an advisor would you work with one? Well, first and foremost, you're bringing a solution to your plan documents that has some real teeth to it. I mean, you're going to save them time. Plan sponsors would like to have more time. It's a unique offering. It's new to the marketplace. It's a fantastic conversation starter, and it has immediate impact. It's a different story than talking about performance or products. It's really helping them with the day-to-day operations. It's helping them be more profitable. It also reduces liability, certainly. Do I think that the Department of Labor is out there auditing small 401k plans looking for these failures? I mean, it's unlikely that this is going to happen, and I don't think that many of the plan sponsors are really scared of that. What they really want is just the 401k plan to be easier. And that's really the benefit. I mean, it certainly reduces audit risk as well, but increasing HR capacity and saving time has been the #1 motivation factor for why clients choose a 316 plan administrator. So what can a 316 plan administrator do? This isn't the universe of services or responsibilities that a capital P, capital A plan administrator faces, but it's what we feel at TRA is a good model for many of our clients. So the first thing that we do is provide distribution services. So we will log on to one of our plan providers' websites and approve loans and distributions on behalf of the plan sponsor. So that's taking some of the day-to-day operations off their plate. We make sure that we have a signed plan document. We interpret the plan document on a day-to-day basis as well, which means that we're certain to use the proper definition of compensation, etc., which was, again, one of the top 10 failures found by the Department of Labor. We deliver participant notices and disclosures on a timely basis. So how do we do that? We're gathering email addresses or physical addresses and sending those disclosures out on the plan sponsor's behalf. We are monitoring eligibility on a payroll-by-payroll basis as well if we have access to payroll files. We are preparing and signing the Form 5500 for our clients. So at the end of the year, we have payroll-by-payroll information so we can reconcile, look at non-discrimination testing, verify the match, etc., prepare the 5500 with little input from plan sponsors and sign it. And then if there happens to be a plan audit for any plan sponsors who have over 100 plan participants, we will coordinate with the plan auditor to answer any questions they have about eligibility, dates of hire, contributions, match, etc., since we are providing those calculations and taking responsibility for making sure that it's done correctly. So what aren't we doing that some 316 plan administrators may be doing? Well, a couple things come to mind. First, we are not collecting 408(b)(2) disclosures and reviewing those. So that means that we are not monitoring other service providers. I mean, we feel like that would be a conflict of interest for TRA to monitor you as advisors if you're providing a statement of services, and we're certainly not going to monitor probably our best referral sources in advisors and retirement plan providers. We just feel like it's a conflict of interest. While some 316 plan administrators will take on those responsibilities, it's not something that we are currently pursuing. We really feel like we're here to support advisors and make sure that we can add value to their relationships. So what's left for a plan sponsor to do if TRA is acting as a 316 plan administrator? Well, most importantly, TRA is not going to send payroll contributions to plan providers. So we're not going to initiate wire transfers or upload a spreadsheet to one of our preferred providers on a payroll-by-payroll basis. Making sure that contributions are sent to the trust still falls upon, it's a responsibility that still falls upon the shoulders of our plan sponsors. They also have to monitor that, not only is TRA doing their job, but that advisors and the plan providers are providing their services as stated in their contracts as well. So, that we're not alleviating all of the fiduciary responsibility associated with administering a plan, but we're really taking on a lot of the day-to-day operations. And at TRA, we're calling our 316 solution Plan Administration Release Services. And I think that really speaks to the way that we feel like we're adding value to the relationship that we have with our clients, and that, we're saving them time, we're increasing their HR capacity, that we're taking on some fiduciary responsibility for the tasks that we're doing, I think speaks to how confident we are in our capabilities to provide those services. We've seen other organizations bring to market 316 type services where they're not necessarily signing on as a fiduciary for those services, but they're providing them. So they may be sending out notices, they may be processing loans and distributions, but they aren't signing on as a fiduciary, so they're not taking on liability. So that liability ultimately falls back onto the shoulders of plan sponsors. And the real key here is who is exercising discretion over decisions related to the administration of the plan. Is it the service provider or is it the plan sponsor? That's really the differentiator between what TRA is doing and what many plan providers are doing in outsourcing some of the administration of the plan, is who is exercising discretion and thus ultimately responsible for the results. At TRA, we have basically 3 different service levels for plan administration. So we have our standard TPA services. We provide the plan document, core compliance, and a signature-ready Form 5500, as well as plan design, consulting, etc. We have a basic service level, which encompasses our loans, distributions, and making sure that a plan document is signed. And then we have the enhanced service level. The enhanced service level has been the most popular choice for plan sponsors who are working with TRA as the 316 plan administrator. And as you can see, there are a litany of day-to-day operations that we provide with our enhanced service model that we do not provide with our basic service model, and certainly not if we're just providing our core TPA services. So there's a lot going on a day-to-day basis that TRA will do for plan sponsors if they choose our enhanced service model. And these are TRA's fees for our plan administration relief services. We have 2 service models, basic and enhanced. The basic has a $250 installation fee, an annual base fee of $500, and then our enhanced service level, which has an installation fee of $500, an annual base fee of $1,000, plus $4 per eligible employee. There are transaction services as well. So if we're administering loans and distributions on behalf of the plan sponsor, we are charging for that. So $25 for distributions and loans, $50 for a hardship, $100 for a quadro. Different service providers or different platforms that we work with also have their own distribution fees. And many times, if TRA is not involved or would not normally be involved in a distribution, then those fees would apply, and we certainly wouldn't double charge. Some providers rely on TRA to process loans and distributions, so we basically would have these fees here plus whatever fee would apply. A good example of that would be a quadro, where TRA, I believe, has a fee of around $200 to process a quadro normally, and then add on that the 316 administration fee of $100. And then we do have fees if we're mailing out notices and distributions, but many of our plan sponsors are providing email addresses to help reduce costs. And then, of course, with the loans distribution fees, many of the times those fees are passed on to plan participants, but that's really a choice that our plan sponsors make. Those 316 plan administration fees are fees that are added to whatever our normal fees would be. So our 316 plan administration services are only available with our preferred providers, and we'll talk a little bit about who those are in the next slide. But if you're familiar with TRA, you know that we have a very popular fee schedule for Safe Harbor 401k plans. It's a $550 flat fee with no per eligible head charge. If we do have a traditional 401k plan, our fees are $950 plus $10 per eligible participant with a minimum fee of $1,200. So whatever 316 service model a client chooses, it would just be added to whatever a base 401k TPA administration fees are. And that's a list of the providers for whom we will provide 316 plan administration services in conjunction with. So let's look at a sample plan to make sure that we get the math right. And then we'll just talk about what we think is the best approach as far as which fee schedule to choose. So if we look at a 401k plan with a safe harbor design, about 30 eligible employees, and assets of 1.2 million, then TRA's administration fee for that plan would be $550. A lot of times I'm working with advisors and they express to me that cost is a consideration for choosing a TPA and a record keeper, and they're in a competitive situation. So they look at TRA, we provide tremendous value for $550, and we propose that fee schedule. We are now also proposing to be a 316 plan administrator. So we would add the $1,000 base fee, $4 per eligible participant, for a total of $1,670. And then presented with the choice between fee schedule 1 and fee schedule 2, we've seen a lot of clients choose fee schedule 2. They feel like hiring TRA for $1,100 a year as a part-time 401k plan expert is really a cost-effective solution, but I'll leave that up to you and your clients to decide which model happens to be the most cost-effective. But certainly, since we're not seeing demand generated from plan sponsors are asking about this service, but many plan sponsors who have had a 401k plan for a number of years, they would love to take many of the day-to-day tasks off their plate, and they would see tremendous value in offloading those tasks for $1,000. Even on startup 401k plans, probably about half of them this year, half of the plan sponsors I've worked with this year have either chosen 316 plan administration services or definitely entertained the prospect of working with TRA as a 316 plan administrator just because they're unfamiliar with 401k plans. Like I said, they wanted to put this 401k plan in place not because they wanted to administer a plan or be a fiduciary, but because they wanted to generate a tax deduction or they wanted to provide a retirement plan vehicle for their plan participants. So we really feel like the clear choice for plan sponsors is engaging TRA as a 316 plan administrator or just engaging a 316 plan administrator in the first place. When the concept of a TPA is introduced to a plan sponsor, they would often think that we're providing a service model similar to what they're used to with their health and welfare third-party administrator, and that they're going to process claims, administer the plan on a day-to-day basis, etc. And truly, that's not what we've been doing. We've been providing a service that's somewhat different, and sometimes plan sponsors are surprised to hear that TPA service models aren't more in-depth than what they are. And now I think we're truly responding to the market with a third-party administration model that meets the expectations of our plan sponsors. But for advisors, we really feel like engaging a 316 TPA is going to streamline your practice. Not only will it reduce the day-to-day phone calls, emails that you experience as being part of the 401k solution for your clients, but it's going to allow you to focus more on the activity that actually generates revenue. You'll be able to focus more on prospecting, servicing your current clients, and offloading the administration and those questions associated with it to TRA on a day-to-day basis. Furthermore, we really feel like advisors have chosen TRA in the past because we are a fantastic solution as a back office to your 401k practice. I mean, that's really what we've endeavored to be. 316 plan administration services is really the next step in that evolution. So if you're working on multiple plans, TRA does have a Premier Advisor program. And once you're in that Premier Advisor program, then you'll be able to offer 316 plan administration services at a 50% discount to the fees that we discussed earlier to your client. So Premier Advisors get a 50% discount on TRA's 316 services. So in conclusion, I think we've really demonstrated that TRA provides a great value add in 316 plan administration services. We're really responding to the demands of our clients, and we're really here to support not only your 401k practice, but to allow you to be more profitable on a day-to-day basis. We really feel like this solution is going to save time, it's going to increase HR capacity, and it's going to create a lot of consultative conversations with not only your current clients, but your 401k plan prospects as well. So if you have any questions, I would encourage you to contact your regional sales consultant. And if you don't have contact information for your regional sales consultant, then you should contact Bill Senegal, our marketing director, and he will be able to connect you with the RSC in your area. Thank you so much for your